the Talking Sports live from NYC. Tomorrow, I'm very excited. I'm going to have on with me tomorrow is the captain of the UNC hockey team, Henry Foster. That's tomorrow. The captain of the UNC ice hockey team. So that's kind of cool, right? Gumbo Chef is home. They gave him a Dodge Challenger to drive home with. And I thought that was cool. Oh, hey, Andrea has joined the conversation today. Andrea, how you doing? All right, hope you're well. Send my best to Steven and everybody, the kids. Hope it's all well. I think she's busy working. Well, no, she's busy working. It's a Monday, right? It's a Monday fun day. Realize I'm sweating a little bit. Just had to go get the iced teas. Dr. Joe has joined us. How does he feel that the Mets are not going to are willing to part with anybody who's not under contract past 2024, which means Pete Alonso could be finito in Flushing? That could happen. Yes, Dr. Joe would be ecstatic with that. He is not a fan. Yes. How's everybody doing today? Everybody good? Everybody's great. How's everybody doing? Today is an exciting day. Yes, it is. It's very exciting because tomorrow I am having on with me live from the UNC ice hockey team, Henry Foster. Saying hi to Andrea. No, it's a Monday. It's a fun day. It's work day. Dr. Joe, how do you feel that I saw with the Mets that they are not going, that anybody is trade bait that is not under contract past 2024? That is Pete Alonso. He said maybe he is toxic in the locker room. So Pete Alonso with 39 home runs, the Mets take 2 or 3 from the Angels this weekend. Ohtani did break the scoreboard on Saturday, went over 4 yesterday. They got a walk-off win 3-2 yesterday. Did you see Noah Syndergaard is available? He's a stupid ball player. Yes, Dr. Joe says he is a stupid ball player. Syndergaard was with the Guardians for a couple games. Pitched like shit tomorrow. He's done. He's a free agent at the end of the season. Maybe the Mets could bring him back. How come Thor was so high at one point and now he is shit on a stick, might I say? Yes, not good at all. So the Mets still have not caught the Yankees in wins, but they are close. And the Yankees have not won a series since July 23rd when they swept Kansas City. How about that? Yes. So the Mets are 60-71. The Yankees are 62-68. They lost 2 or 3 in Tampa Bay. Tonight we have a huge basketball game. Aces, who lead the WNBA with a 30-5 now? With I got to get this right, folks, or else, also 57 days until the NBA season. I know we're all ecstatic about that. Aces 30-5, Liberty 27-7. This is going to be a 40-game season. 2 losses the last 4 games. They did lose 78-62. Put Alonso money. How about Alonso money, Joe, in the bullpen and in the starting lineup, in the pitching, or everybody? You need bullpen. You gotta have leads to have a bullpen. Come on, you need so much help that it could bullpen. You got Diaz coming back next year. Come on, let's be honest. They lost 70-62. The Aces on Saturday, where Becky Hammond pulled all her starters. Well, it's a sellout in the lower bowl at Barclays tonight, and looking to be a full sellout. We'll see if that happens. So tonight, the 30-5 Aces, who beat the Liberty in the last game, but lost the Commissioner's Cup to the Liberty, go for the last regular season meeting. And right now, they are the 2 best teams in the WNBA. And if Liberty win, they'll be 1 game behind in the loss column to the Aces. Yeah, Connecticut's not catching them. They beat Connecticut after coming back the other day, and they blew out the Lynx. Yeah, I know. Yes, you have Buck Showalter. He sucks, Dr. Joe. And your Billy Epler, the Wonderkind. Is it Wonderkind? GM. Yeah, he sucks too. Also, FIBA. Did you watch basketball? No, I don't really give a shit. But they're playing the Philippines, Manila. Never been to the Philippines. I could go this summer. Daryl and Izzy and Marie. It's Marie's 50th. They're going to the Philippines. It's kind of like the same time we're going to France. So we'll see what happens. I mean, yeah. So they got to win today, 109-81 over Greece. Get into the second round. Brunson, Anthony Edwards, 13 each, which hasn't lost in 7 games overall this summer. Their win, combined with New Zealand's 95-87 win over Jordan earlier Monday, clinched a second-round berth for the Americans. They played Jordan on Wednesday, then played Lithuania and Montenegro in same order on Friday and Sunday. All right, so good luck to them, and we wish them the best. Giannis isn't playing he's had some knee surgery, so he didn't play. Greece went to Papa Giannis instead, the former lottery pick, number 13 in the 2016 draft, played 39 games with Sacramento and Portland, last appeared in the NBA in 2018, 11 in the first quarter, 15 in the first half. All right, hey. So they are playing, we'll see if they can keep it going. They've made its first 22 free throws without a miss. They've been 30 for 34 without from the line. Jordan cannot reach the second round, even if it beats the U.S. on Wednesday. So that's it for them. We'll see what happens. U.S. women national team, soccer, they dropped after their Sweet 16, their round 16 exit in the 2023 World Cup. Sweden holds the top spot after their third place finish. Spain moved up to number 2. Australia dropped out of the top 10 to number 11 with 3 losses in the tournament. Canada and Germany also fell due to their group state. I don't fall into third. So U.S. is third, which I think they should be dropping. And England should be up there, but I guess England is not in the top 5. I don't know why England makes the final of the World Cup and loses, and why don't they move up? Hey, Coach Giuseppe. Hey, what's up, Coach Giuseppe? How you doing there? You want to talk any sports? Giants, Jets? I like that. Coach Giuseppe. I like that. That's a good one. I like the sunglasses. Kind of cool. Yeah, so U.S. women's team, they suck, and they are playing some friendlies again. They'll play British Columbia on October 26th in Sandy, Utah, and October 29th in San Diego. Colombia. We'll play the country. I thought it was British Columbia. Colombia. And the U.S. women took gold in the 4x100. So Sha'Carri Richardson took gold in the 100, gold in the 4x100, and she got a bronze in the 200 meters. And the men also won the 4x100. Yeah, you heard about what Noah Lyles was saying. That's what I wanted to talk about with Bumbles. So Noah Lyles disagrees with the NBA title winners calling themselves world champions per Eurosport. They do have a team in Canada and more international players, but not like the Olympics. So not world champions. Well, I kind of like it. I was thinking about the New York Giants and New York Jets. They both have not played in New York the Giants moved there in the 70s? Yes, because I was a kid. And the Jets moved there, in 85? So you're talking a shitload of time in New Jersey. Also, I don't like when announcers say tonight when it's a day game they're calling. That bothers me. I do feel that there are a lot of international players. The Olympics is international. The U.S. men's basketball team has won 16 gold at the Olympics, 5 at the FIBA World Cup, and 7 at the FIBA America. But, I could see while, track and field is an internationally based sport, while basketball is more league-oriented. And, they are international players, and I feel like NBA players are going bashing them. I saw Drake got into it. Why Drake's opinion means anything to me is beyond, I don't give a shit. But cool that Drake has an opinion. KD, Booker, Devin Booker, they were all saying stuff like this is, bashing him for saying it, Lyles. But, I think he had a point there. I mean, we always say world champions, but if it was a world champion, you'd be playing other countries. Yes, there's a team in Toronto, in Canada, but other than that, it's all U.S. teams. I know they're international players, but it's not really a world champion. Now we have the World Baseball Classic. Japan is world champions because they beat teams from all over the world. But basketball, world players, but not world competition. So he's got a point there. People would say it's semantics, it's wording, whatever, but I kind of agree with him. I agree with Mr. Lyles. Yes, I do. And there is girls flag football. They had the Nike Football Kickoff Classic Thursday in Beaverton, Oregon. Janisa Wilson was responsible for all the points. Irvington's 14-0 win over Willowbrook, scoring both touchdowns on runs. Thursday's games marked the second annual flag football event in partnership with the NFL. Last year, Nike and the NFL committed $5 billion to the growth of girls flag football. I like that. You know what? I think that's pretty cool. Girls flag football. You know what? It's a great sport. You have to work on your speed. It's elusiveness. Yeah, you're not hitting each other. So there's not concussions. and women can play a sport, a different sport that they might not have had an opportunity to play before. There's competitions all over. I don't think it's going to take off. People are going to watch it on TV, but you never know. They have pickleball on television, so why not? I mean, they have a lot of stuff on television, though. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, people play video games, but on Twitch or whatever, I mean, actually, that's got kind of quiet. I know that there is, but people go watch, schools have video game scholarships, people who play online sports. I mean, I guess there's anything. And Daniel Dubois, I thought that was the body shot, which they call a low blow, I thought was a legal shot in the 5th round where Usyk went down. He got knocked out, TKO, which I thought they stopped it a little quickly. And I guess we're going to see. So they want to have Usyk versus Fury, but Filip Hrgovic is the mandatory challenger, and he is not going to step aside. So I guess we're going to have to wait for Usyk versus Fury. I think Usyk is a good fighter, but I think Fury is a monster. Just too big a guy to... And Usyk, I don't know. I mean, he did knock down Dubois, but I did think that was on the belt. And the good point, someone said that, his nuts aren't all the way up there. If his nuts were up there and he went down the way he went, then come on, that's bullshit. So I agree. But Dubois, I thought he got hosed on that one. And thank you, Jake Donovan, for that. But I definitely felt that Dubois, that was a legal punch, but they called it a low blow, and that was the end of that. California, so Curacao was down 5-1 in the 6th, grand slam to tie it, and then a walk-off, and actually, Louis Lappy smashed a no doubt walk-off home run. First of all, he looked like he was 6'5", and right before he hit, the announcer said that Curacao has not given up a home run in this whole Little League World Series, which was the jinx of all jinx. Gave a home run, they lost, and that's got to hurt. And then Chinese Taipei got a mercy rule 10-0 win after 4 over Texas in the 3rd place game. Yeah, crazy, right? But how about that? That's got to be great. That's a highlight thing, to hit a walk-off home run in the Little League World Series. Pretty awesome. I'm not crazy about the bat flips. I feel like the kids are imitating the major leaguers, and they're like talking shit and doing all this stuff and bad sportsmanship and flipping bats and throwing bats and doing all this stuff, which I know the Major League Baseball players are doing, but, these are 12-year-old kids, but monkey see, monkey do. And, I'm not crazy about that stuff. That stuff kind of annoys the hell out of me. And the Giants, so Jalen Hyatt, I don't know, Bumbles, what do you think about this, Dr. Joe? Jalen Hyatt beat all-pro cornerback Sauce Gardner deep on twice. There was an overthrow and a holding penalty, which would have been big plays, but I have to say, they said Jalen Hyatt is going to be a beast. And Sauce, you know what? All the hype for Sauce Gardner, is it going to translate to this season? I guess we're going to see what happens going forward. But I thought that was kind of crazy. Twice he got beat. We weren't home. I watched highlights. Rodgers, yes. Garrett Wilson, Dr. Joe, yes. He is a tier 1 quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. He was hyping Mekhi Becton, and all the work he's put in, he's going to play right tackle this year. Well, you should hype this guy. These guys are going to protect him. I like what he, talking up his players. I think they're going to be pretty goddamn good this season. You got opening day, Monday Night Football against the Bills. That's going to be exciting. I saw James Robinson, former Jag, got hurt, never really recovered. Jags got rid of him, went to the Jets, really didn't play. What he had 56 yards against the Giants. He got cut, so he's done. And Andrew Brandt put something interesting up. Said that Saquon reported to camp a month ago with no new salary, only $900,000 of hard-earned incentives tied to Giants making the playoffs. Josh Jacobs took a month off and now gets an extra $1.7 million. Yes, well, Becton said that's a big point. Hey, can he stay healthy? If he can, very big asset. But they said he came in shape later this season. I mean, I hope so. I hope so, Joe. I really do. So Josh Jacobs took a month off, now gets an extra $1.7 million in salary by showing up. Still a mystery why he said, Andrew Brandt said why mystery he would take that deal. I think that's all they had on the offer, on the table. And he wanted to play. He still wants to be a Giant for life. Now Jacobs took $12 million. Next year, if he goes salary, franchise tag again, it's $14 million. Whereas so Jonathan Taylor, since he was not a first round pick, there is no franchise tag for him where he can go to the next suitor next year. Like he isn't locked into a franchise tag. The Bears are out. allegedly. We'll see how that happens on that front, but time will tell. And we'll see with Saquon what happens. And Giants defensive back linebacker Isaiah Simmons, he said he knows the Cardinals traded away for next to nothing, using it as motivation via Ryan Dunleavy. I think the Giants got a good deal, Simmons said with a smile. We'll see if it's worth the 7th round pick or not. He can play pass rusher, linebacker, and safety. He said, I don't really have too many discomforts in the field just because I've spent so much time at various different places. I'm comfortable watching the passer, just like I'm comfortable playing half field or post safety. At the end of the day, it's just a position of responsibility. I mean, low risk, low reward. They didn't pick up his 5th year option. If he plays well, they can extend him. If not, he can go. What do you mean? If you wish Jones had some receivers, he got Jalen Hyatt. He's got Waller. He's got Wan'Dale Robinson. He's got Sterling Shepard if he gets healthy. I would say that Daniel Jones has receivers now. And he has Darius Slayton, who had a pretty goddamn good season last year. So I disagree. Dr. Joe, I totally disagree with you. And Jalen Hyatt's going to be a beast. I mean, they had talked about it in college that he was going to be a superstar when he went to the next level. Well, I think he's already showing that, so we'll see what happens on that front. But, you say eh. You say eh. Like the Jets have the greatest set of wide receivers ever. You got Garrett Wilson. Who else? You got Garrett Wilson and everybody else. There's Garrett Wilson, everybody else. So I feel like the Jets, well, you got Breece Hall out of the backfield. You got Dalvin Cook out of the backfield, so you got some running backs. And you got Saquon, who's an extra wide receiver for the Giants. So I disagree. Yeah, I know you're a little too Jets. Got to see the rest of the world. That's why I do the show. Talk about a lot of things. Not just Giants, not just Jets. A lot of things. And rookie wide receiver Bryce Ford Whedon, West Virginia University undrafted free agent, he's done. He tore his ACL, going to miss the entire season. Played 4 snaps all in special teams in the game. He was going to mostly be a special teams guy, but he displayed his wide receiver skills, but he's done for the year. Sterling Shepard, also coming back from a torn ACL. They thought about letting him return punts, which I think is a nightmare. I always feel like, you could put a good player doing punt returns, and you get him hurt and you lose a guy you really need out there making catches. So he fair caught a ball during the game. I guess we're going to see what happens going forward, but he's been hurt a lot the last couple of years, and if he can stay healthy, the sky's the limit. But if not, it's going to be over kind of quickly. And I saw this from Ghosts of the Orange Bowl. Miami Dolphins guard Ed Newman goes one-on-one with New York Jets nose tackle Joe Klecko during a game in the early 80s. Newman and Klecko were 2 of the NFL's strongest players of their era. Newman held the Dolphins bench press record, 5'10". 5'10" bench press. Selected 4 consecutive Pro Bowls from 81 to 84. He went on to become a longtime Miami-Dade County judge. Yeah, Joe Klecko was a 4-time Pro Bowl selection, 81 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and was just recently selected into the Hall of Fame. Robert Saleh said, Mekhi Becton is the starting right tackle. He said, was asked if Aaron Rodgers played well. It's a start. It doesn't mean much. Yes, but it was a nice touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson. So we'll see how that goes. Patriots played the Jets September 24th. New York hasn't defeated New England since 2015, the longest active losing streak by one team to a single opponent, which pisses me off. They went to the game where they lost last year, and we'll see what happens there. Bears cut P.J. Walker. I like P.J. Walker. And they also announced they waived Alex Leatherwood, who back in 21 was a 17th pick in the draft by the Raiders out of Bama, where he won the Outland and Jacobs blocking trophies in 2020. Everybody said he wasn't a first-round pick. Played with them, got released last year, went to the Bears, played 4 games, 43 total snaps. They released him. They owe him $4.59 for guarantees that are left on his contract. They'll have $7 million of dead money, but Ryan Poles, the GM, is showing that he'll take production over financial commitment. Yeah, I kind of like P.J. Walker. I mean, I think he's shown, he's not a great quarterback, but he's had some moments in the NFL. All right, back to work. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Thank you for coming on today. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. C.J. Stroud, week 1 starter. And I think he's going to be good. They play the Ravens week 1. He throws his first touchdown pass yesterday against the Saints. A 40 get Joe Beningo on. Oh, the pain. I don't understand the pain thing, but yeah. Oh, I'd love to get if I could get Joe Beningo on, I would love to. I really don't have a way to get in touch with him, but if I could find a way, hell yeah, I'll put him on. I think I don't know if he's coming every day, but Joe Beningo just talking local stuff. Yes, I would be ecstatic to have that happen. Yes, so he threw a touchdown yesterday, C.J. Stroud to Nico Collins, 11 for 20, touchdown and interception. Damian Pierce is going to be the guy who's going to get a lot of carries this year. All right, text him. You have his number? Oh, so Dr. Joe has Beningo's number. If you have his number, make it happen. All right. And rookie running back Kendra Miller, who's likely to play a significant role with Kamara on a 3-game suspension, only averaged 24 yards on 11 carries. Now, no NFL helmet can completely prevent concussions, but Vicus is one of the industry leaders when it comes to reducing head injuries. And the scientific approach by company leaders could translate into other contact sports, which is a good thing. This is progressing in the right way because ESPN, a new study showed diagnosed CTE in 40% of contact sport athletes, mainly football players who died before 30. That's fucking scary. 40% had CTE before the age of 30. That's horrendous. I mean, it's a crazy sport. I mean, I love watching football, but the long-term effects, man, is scary. Scary. Very scary. Yeah, so they're both scary sports. I mean, there's no two ways around it. They're very scary sports. Ugh, it drives me crazy, and I love it. I love watching it. I love watching boxing. We watched boxing this weekend. We watched MMA. I mean, I love watching that stuff. And Tyjae Spears, the rookie out of Tulane for the Titans, ranked first among all qualifying running backs in yards after contact per rush, 4.7. That's a good, because I have my fantasy draft tomorrow, and ninth in yards per carry, 5.3. At least 7 men in the box he faced on 82% of his rushes, well above the league average. He had 117 yards at a touchdown on 22 carries, third round pick out of Tulane, where he had 1,581 yards and 21 touchdowns last year. He had knee concerns, chief among them, no ACL in his right knee. He'll be the third down back and could see his role expand as a second. Hey, I mean, you do have the man. You have Derrick Henry. I mean, but that's a good backup plan. I like that. Carson Wentz talked to the Kansas City Chiefs and said, Kansas City, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. That's not a guy I'd want. No. Yeah, you got third and fourth stringers. Wait, so who do you have? It's been quiet. They signed a new quarterback to back up Moses off season. Who do they sign? Wasn't it Blaine Gabbert? Yeah, I'm not crazy about Blaine Gabbert, but I like him more over Carson Wentz. That's for sure. And did you see the Jaguars-Dolphins game got canceled with about 8 minutes left when David Davis was injured on the field? He was released from the hospital on Sunday. Thank God for that. So the Dolphins couldn't get a deal with Christian Wilkins, so they gave defensive lineman Zach Seiler, who's basically 3.5 sacks last year, 3 years, 38.65, $20 million guaranteed for, what is it, like a backup defensive line? You got to sign the guys. Wilkins is a guy, he's a glue guy. That's a guy you want. I mean, Bosa hasn't been signed yet. They're saying he can get up to $30 million. He hasn't signed with the Niners. I don't know what's going on with these teams. Sign the guys you got to sign. Yeah, Jordan Love, they're going to play Saints at Packers September 24th. First start at home. 31 seasons between Favre and Rodgers. That's some stability right there. They say he's played well, completed 9 of 15 passes, 63 yards, a touchdown, 21 on the ground, in 3 possessions. In his preseason, they did do a 15-play, 80-yard drive. Christian Watson, that's a guy who's going to have a good, yeah. So he's been pretty good. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's completing 64% of his passes. Jake Bobo, out of undrafted rookie receiver out of UCLA, 2 catches, 18 yards, and a touchdown. 7 for $125, 2 touchdowns. He ran a 4.99 pro day. What does it matter? Guy gets open, runs good routes. I love it. He didn't run fast. Well, he's scoring touchdowns in the NFL against NFL players. Steve Largent, I don't think he was the fastest guy in a 40, but he ran consistent, precise routes, and got open and made the catch. In traffic, whatever it took. And the Bucks, man, this sucks. Ryan Jensen, who tore his knee, came back for the playoffs. They think it could be career-threatening. Robbed them nearly of all last season. He might have played his last down, which would really suck. He's a hell of a player. They also cut Cade Warner, Kirk's son, undrafted free agent at Kansas. One catch for 19 yards out of Kansas State. Maybe they'll bring him back in the practice squad. That's a guy who could have a future. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, and RG3 said that basically if it didn't work out with Brock Purdy and what happened with Trey Lance, that Lynch and Shanahan should have been fired for that terrible trading 3 draft picks for Trey Lance. That's what he said. Yeah. Okay. And on top of it, that's the thing. Mark Sanchez, every quarterback, Sam Darnold for the Jets. You could talk about Zach Wilson. Every team trades up. They go for Ricky, the Saints for the Saints, all those draft picks to get Ricky Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner from Texas. It happens all the time. If that was the case, you'd be firing coaches all the time. But everybody's trying to get that quarterback who can become the next great thing. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. And we're going to see what happens. Trey Lance is going to go to the Cowboys, and also the Niners. They drafted Moody out of Michigan. Drafted him, which is not really common. He hurt his quad. He's only made 3 of 5 field goals, 1 or 2 extra points. One of his came from 58, but the other one from 40. He had a 32-yard game winner that just got in the right upright. He got hurt. Then they also have another kicker who hurt his calf. What the hell's his name? Zane Gonzalez. So he's hurt. So they might bring Robbie Gould back, who's a free agent. Rodrigo Blankenship, who seems like he's been cut a lot of times. Elliott Fry or Tristan Vizcaino, because they need someone for week 1. They're both not going to be ready. And we'll see. They play at Pittsburgh week 1. They're going to need somebody. And Cameron Latu has a meniscus injury from their latest preseason game. Do they retain him and get him available later in the season, or do they say that's it? We're going to see what happens on that front. But that's a decision made. And now you got kickers, and Jake Moody has not been great during the preseason, but he's a guy who was great at Michigan. And kickers are a finicky little bunch. You never know what you're going to get with them, ever. And Browns right tackle DeJuan Jones, a 4th-round pick out of the dump, Ohio State, 223 snaps in the preseason, 3 pressures, according to Pro Football Focus, allowed just 1 quarterback hit and 0 sacks in 4 games. And Marquise Goodwin, this is a nice thing, it came off the non-football injury list. He was out with blood clots in his lungs and legs. And Jakeem Grant, I remember him on undrafted from Texas Tech, ends up making it to the Miami team, makes the Pro Bowl in 2021. Last year, tears his Achilles in training camp, comes back this year for the Brown, rehabs all, and in their game on Saturday against KC, he tore his ACL. You saw him go right down, grab the knee. He's done. So 2 years in a row, and that was. And one of the players who went up to come up to him as he was loading the cart was his former college teammate at Texas Tech, Patrick Mahomes. That sucks. 2 years in a row to have injuries like that. I loved him when undrafted. There was a guy, undrafted free agent, makes the team, ends up making a Pro Bowl, and injury last season, injury this season, and just like, how many more chances does he have? You don't know. And the Ravens, 24 in a row now. They've lost 2 preseason games in a row. Raiders had the record at 6. They lost to the Cowboys. So I don't even know it was the most preseason wins in a row, but 24 in a row, now 2 losses in a row, but they didn't play many starters. They lost 26-20 to Tampa Bay. Josh has joined the show. How you doing, Josh? And veteran John Simpson is the left guard competition week 1 against the Texans. He was a former 4th-round pick of the Raiders. How about the Rams? Lost 41-0 to the Broncos in preseason. 41-0. And Matthew Stafford is having a hard time connecting with his younger teammates. They're always on the phones. He went so far to ask the equipment staff to print out a Facebook so that he could remember everyone's names and make an attempt to get to know them. You're on YouTube. Good for you. So am I. Congrats. And his wife on her podcast said they get out of practice at meetings during training camp and they go straight to their phones. No one looks up for their phones. And Matthew's like, I don't know. Am I the dad? Do I take their phones? What do I do here? He's like, I want them to see me not as a coach. They say sir to me and shit. He's like, no, we're on the same level here. We're both playing the league. Let me get to know you. And they said this is the same thing that Brett Favre dealt with. I would think Aaron Rodgers looks like he's trying to stay away from that route. But yeah, I mean, that's the world today. I mean, I call kids now. I called Ari one time and he didn't know what, he's better. Everybody's better with texting. Nobody talks on the phone anymore. They don't. It's a different world. I feel for you, Matthew. I feel for you. Eye contact and real conversations is nice. But you're in a train, you're anywhere in the world. You walk the streets of the city and people have their head down and you're knocking into people. It's bullshit. And they also acquired offensive guard Kevin Dotson from the Steelers. Steelers received the Rams 2024 fourth round pick and 2025 fifth round pick. While LA receives Pittsburgh 2024 fifth round pick and 2025 sixth round pick. He was drafted in the fourth round in the 2020 draft, started 30 of 39 career games. Just another guy for the line. He's played played some of both guard spots, 70 games last season. That's a guy you do. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we're going to see. And, they have guys, you can compete for a starting job. We'll see how that goes going forward. Pittsburgh, I don't know why. They said with Isaac, Sumalo signed in free agency to start at left guard. Nate Herbig brought in as a free agent in March to play swing guard. And Dotson being the final year of his rookie deal and set to make $2.75 million. I guess we're going to see how that works going forward. But yeah, you need a guy. He's physical. Where did Dotson play college? That's the one thing I didn't look up. Yeah, where did Kevin Dotson played his college ball at, Raging Cajuns. Good for him. I like that with LA. I like that a lot. And David Hellman says about the Cowboys, the whole thing with Dak Prescott. I'm not saying this has zero effect on Dak's future with the Cowboys, but please keep in mind that he will cost $60 million against the cap in 2024 if he's not extended before then, and he has a no trade clause. So, and Jerry Jones replied they wanted to draft Jalen Hurts a few years ago, but he fallen the draft, but he didn't. So Hurts went 53rd. The Cowboys had selected Trevon Diggs at 51, Pro Bowler. So that didn't happen. Dak Prescott on the Lance trade said, I'm going to leave that talk and these talks in the office where business is handled. There will come a time when that happens. And he says that he doesn't plan on Trey Lance playing this year. And he, doesn't plan on counting or wish for help from him this year, which means he hopes that Dak stays healthy. So Trey Lance has missed 26 out of a possible 34 games first 2 years. Yeah, basically a redshirt year, which I'm okay with. Cap hit next year for $59.5 million. No trade clause. They cannot be forced to play on a franchise tag. Jones affirmed that Prescott, who was only 30, was fully on board with adding Lance to the roster for the betterment of the team. I don't know why according to ESPN, Todd Archer, Cowboys regarded Lance as a second-round caliber prospect in 2021. Yeah, I don't know if he's on the hot seat, but I would like him to be in the hot seat. I just don't know if Trey Lance is the answer. And Will Greer, the quarterback out of West Virginia, he had 305 yards passing, 53 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Hopefully got picked up somewhere else. Brandon Aubrey made a 59-yard field goal. Yeah, so we'll see what happens going forward with that. And the Patriots are trading 6th-round pick to the Vikings for offensive lineman for Darian Lowe. You can never have enough offensive line depth. He is 24, 6th-round pick last year by the Vikings. And Josh Jacobs will wear number 8. Aiden O'Connell was the NFL passing ratings leader in the preseason. Behind him was Drew Lock, Will Greer, Jameis Winston, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the rookie at UCLA for the Browns. I like to see that. And Brady was the game as Cowboys, and as they were going on the field, he goes, "Go ruin their night." They did not. We shall see what happens there. So the Raiders' 6-game preseason winning streak over. Damn. Ravens 24 over. McDaniel's first preseason loss as a Raider head coach. He has plenty of losses in the regular season. I don't think they'll be that good a season. Stephen Gilmore's top 5 wide receivers: Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Tyreek Hill. Stephon Diggs number 1, huh? I don't know. I think I mean, I definitely think Jefferson's better right now than Diggs is, and Jamar Chase I think Jamar Chase can have a phenomenal season. I might go after him. I mean, there's a couple wide receivers I might go after first. I think I'm going to go after a wide receiver first. I haven't decided who. A little concerned about Devontae Adams with the Raiders. With productivity, they disappeared on games with him last season. And that's a guy who's got to get a lot of balls every goddamn game. Needs to. I guess we're going to see. Yeah, that's tick-tock on that stuff. I got to decide on that soon, right? Yeah, I'm not, I really don't like fantasy football, but I'm going to try it. I'm not really, we'll see what happens. So Charlie Joyner, NFL's all-time leader in receptions and receiving yards when he retired. Kellen Winslow, both have their numbers retired in a halftime ceremony when Chargers take on the Dolphins at SoFi. It should be Jack Murphy. Yeah, I can't stand the Los Angeles Chargers. That's another thing. Los Angeles Chargers. It just doesn't flow. It's bullshit. Should be back in San Diego. Yeah, and the Broncos cut wide receiver Kendall Hinton, played quarterback for a game during the COVID year. I forgot about that. And linebacker Ventrell Miller, a 4th-round pick out of Florida, tore his Achilles, and he's done for the year for the Jags. That sucks. Derek Barnett, who got hurt first game last season, and torn ACL week 1. He wants to go somewhere where he'll get more playing time. 2017 first-round pick out of the Volunteers, 14th pick, 21.5 sacks in 6 years. 2019 he had 6.5 sacks. He's only 27. Maybe he could play somewhere else, get it done. I'm not very excited about it. Okay, I see some of this stuff. I'm like, okay. I hope things work out for you. He was the all-time sack leader at Tennessee, 33, past former Eagle and Packer great Reggie White with 32. Yeah, that's crazy. And how about Notre Dame? So I watched some of that game. I'm not overreacting. They beat Navy 42-3. But 39,000 Americans flew to Dublin. And John, I was good friends with his sister Carrie. He went to the game. And they made a flub on the telecast. They said, Joe Montana, 5-time Super Bowl champ. They said, they took the one away from Steve Young. 4. But I thought that was... And Jason Garrett sucks as an announcer. It's like watching the paint rust on a car. You know where I got that from? A guy said a review of The Postman with Kevin Costner. He said he'd rather watch the paint rust on a car than sit through that movie. I heard it was terrible. But he talked about his review of that movie that's what he said. And that's what I feel like. When Jason Garrett's on a broadcast, he sucks. Him and Dungy. Dungy's done some game. Even whenever Dungy comes on, I think he's a smart guy and everything. But boring as shit. Boring as shit. He just puts you to sleep. So Hardman went 15 for 23, 251, 4 touchdowns. The 444 to 169. In the third quarter, Navy had 0 passing yards. Zero. Yeah. Jim Harbaugh opened his ECU week press conference on the state of football. He wants a system of revenue sharing with athletes. I don't understand how the NCAA TV networks, conferences, and schools can continue to pull in millions off the effort of college students across the country without sharing ever-increasing revenue. Don't disagree with that. Sharon Moore, he's going to miss the game for the same recruitment violations. He's not going to be doing the game, according to Josh Henschke of Maize and Blue Review. He said it isn't a slap on the wrist, the 3-game suspension. It's more like a baseball bat to the kneecap. Then I heard shoulder. Dude, just take it down a notch. Really? Yeah, I don't like saying the word relax. Someone said relax to me yesterday, and it was like, relax. As her mother was pulling in and almost hit my car. So I'm not going to relax when she could have waited 5 seconds and let me pull out. But yeah, relax. I just think it's a little ridiculous. But yeah, he said he might go see his son's game, watch the game on TV. Said it's really tough on him. I feel terrible for him. I really do. You're playing shit teams the first 3 games anyway, so what does it matter? They're not playing anybody until week 5. And the games are so bad this year at home that we're not even going to a game. Because why go to see him play someone shit? Yeah, they're playing Penn State on the road. I think they have 1 good game at home this whole season. It's not good. Not good. And yeah, no. And Roman Wilson's going to play wear number 1. Anthony Carter started the tradition. It's been an honor ever since. He had a most productive game against TCU in the Fiesta Bowl, the college football semis, 104 yards, 18-yard rushing touchdown. But this year, let's have a lot more catches. Chip Kelly will name Ethan Garbers as quarterback week 1. They're playing Coastal Carolina this Saturday. He got it over 5-star freshman Dante Moore and Kent State transfer Colin Schlee. I guess you transfer, you think you're going to become the guy. You're not the guy. He spent the past 2 years, Garber, as the backup after transferring from Washington. Dozen games, threw 599 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He played high school in Corona Del Mar in California. He was a 4-star prospect. His brother Chase played 4 years at California. He's currently with the Raiders after they signed him as an undrafted free agent. I don't know. I mean, you just don't know. He could play a couple games, could play 1 game, not play well against Coastal, and that's the end of him. And look, Desmond Howard picked his final 4. He picked Michigan over Texas. His final 4 didn't even take Georgia. Texas, Alabama, Florida State, and Michigan. And then Michigan beating Texas for the title. I was like, wow. And didn't even pick Georgia. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to go, but okay. USC paid $1.4 million in guarantees to San Jose State. They won 56-28. It's close in the first half. Defense still isn't that good. And DirecTV, the official partner of USC Athletics, and the game was only on the Pac-12 network. So you have a deal, and you couldn't get the game there. Well, it's kind of like, Yankees, they're not on Yes, so if you don't have Apple, you can't watch the Yankees. And they're going to play at Oregon November 11th. First time since 2019. They'll play in the regular season. You got Caleb Williams against Bo Nix. Could be for the future for the Heisman Trophy, but who knows? And Cal and Stanford said if things don't work at the ACC, the Big 12, but I don't know if the Big 12 really wants them. So I guess we're going to see how that goes going forward. Diddy's given $1 million to Jackson State when they said he really didn't give the money. So he said he did. Jacksonville State, first win as an FBS program, and in a conference game, they beat UTEP 17-14. Pat Forte said the next up in the old college quarterback Saturday, we go from 6-year Sam Hartman to 6-year Gavin Hardison of UTEP, which lost 17-14 Jacksonville State. Vandy versus Hawaii. Stephen McBride, 2 catches for 23 yards at Kansas. Cheers to Hawaii, 2 touchdown catches against Vanderbilt. They lost 35-28. And UMass defeated New Mexico State, first season opener against an FBS opponent in 40 seasons. Last doing it in 1984 against Ball State, 1-0 for only the second time in the FBS history. And New Mexico State came out in all matching ponchos, which I thought was really cool. I like them. San Diego State paid Ohio University $1.5 million. They won 20-13. Thank you, Steve Berskowitz. Arizona State is expected to self-impose a 1-year bowl ban for the 2023 football season for alleged violations under the regime of Herm Edwards. And Michigan brought up a good point, which really is true and really sucks, that the players who pay for it are not the players who were playing at the time, but players who had nothing to do with that regime. Most of them are now going to have to take a bowl ban this year. So we'll see what happens. TCU at Texas, November 11th. Ohio State and Notre Dame, November 23rd. I guess we'll see how. I think Notre Dame is highly overrated. I think they're always over every year. And I have to say, I am not rooting for the dump. I want Notre Dame to get beaten badly. And Oklahoma State, the Bedlam series, this is it. 119 years letting it go to shit. No, bullshit. Ridiculous. Not a fan at all. Yeah, and Brianna Stewart the other day had her 4th game with at least 35 or more points. She would have had 40, but she sat out. I mean, they won by 35 with the Lynx. over the weekend. So tonight's the big game for them. Courtney Vandersloot has reached 4,000 career points. Benaja Laney, 500 career defensive rebounds. Well, one good thing about the Yankees is that Volpe, 11th home run with men on bases this season. Most on the Yankees, tied with Xander Bogaerts for most as a shortstop. Yankees are Katie Sharp, great stuff. The Yankees are the third team since 1901 to have 4 games with 2 hits or fewer in any 10-game span. The others are the 1968 Cubs, the 1904 Phillies. They are now 7 wins, 17 losses in August. They are 4-2, lost 7-4, 2-8 their last 10. Now go for 4 games in Detroit. Yeah, who's pitching tonight? Yeah, because I know we're all ecstatic to see what the Yankees are going to do in Detroit. I mean, come on, that's fantastic, right? I mean, hey, yeah, they suck. Yankees are Tigers. Tigers are 59-71. Severino pitched well last time. 3-8 with a 7.26 ERA against Reese Olson. 2-5 with a 5.29. The Mets host the Rangers, who are playing complete. Well, they won at least a game. They ended an 8-game losing streak. They lost 9 of the last 10. The Mariners are in first place now, which is crazy. I mean, they were at one point a 1% chance of winning the division. Now they're up to 41%. But John Gray, 8-7 with a 3.76 ERA against Tyler McGill, 7-7 with a 5.54. So, Mets stink. No two ways around it. No bueno. Not good sports right now. Not good at all. And Volpe, what does Volpe have? 18 home runs now in the season? Is that Anthony Volpe? And he's still hitting in the 200s. But hey, he's got some power this year. Not going to lie to you. 18 home runs, 53 RBIs, 218. 93 hits. He's closing on 100. So good luck to you, Anthony Volpe. You're getting it done. Getting it done and taking no prisoners. The Padres are the same record as the Nationals the season after the Juan Soto trade. David Robinson has been traded to the Marlins. This was on Saturday. 10 appearances, 7.20 ERA, and 3 blown saves. Phillies as of Friday, 48 home runs in August. Franchise record for after Saturday. Also 11 3-run home runs this month. And Ohtani, from 21 to 23, 2.84 ERA, struck out an MLB's 400 innings minimum, 31.4% of those he faced, while hitting the second most home runs, 129 for Judge, 124 for Ohtani. Only Corbin Burns, 576, has held batters to a lower OPS than Ohtani, 6.02. And only Judge had a higher OPS than Ohtani. And he also tied for the most triples in that time and 16th in steals. Yeah, I don't know how much extra the value with him with, marketing, promotions, but he's only going to hit. He's got to recover from the elbow ligament. He turns 30 in July. Yeah, will he DH? I guess he's going to DH. They have a $200 million payroll. Ohtani costs $50 million annually. It can't be $150 million plus Ohtani. It has to be $200 million. So Ohtani has to be like his own separate entity. And I read this too, that should the Angels have sat him until he received an MRI, was the reported fatigue actually early signs of the UCL injury? Yeah, it's all speculation. Over the last month or so, has really just been fatigue after his start in Detroit, in which he threw his first MLB complete game, a one-hitter. Yeah, it came about. It showed through dehydration and cramping, and that's all it was about that at that time. That was not a product of an existing UCL issue. And Angels GM Perry Managian said that earlier this month, the team offered to get the two-way star on an MRI, an offer that was turned down by Ohtani and his agent, Nez Balello. Came about August 3rd, started in Seattle when he dealt with a finger cramp. I guess they just wanted to be sure about that. Hey, Justin, getting ready for football season this weekend. You're playing at Kane this weekend, I think, right? Kane. Getting ready for some football, man. You want to talk, Justin? Bring it on. Let's get going. You want to do a show? I'd love to do a show with you this week. If you give me 30 minutes, give me 20 minutes. Love to hear about your training, what football players you admire, all that kind of stuff. Love to get some insight onto the Morrisville Mustang, SUNY Morrisville Mustang Mafia, all that stuff. Yeah, I know. I'm rambling, but yeah. So it's interesting what's going to happen with Ohtani. You know, I mean, he's playing. He's in good spirits. He's hitting. We're going to see what happens. Mariners swept KC, 11 wins in the last 12 games. They went 90-72 last year. As recently as July 24th, Seattle was at 500, 8.5 games behind the Rangers, 7th place in the wild card. But since no team has been better than the Mariners, 24-6 since, isn't that crazy? Since July 24th. Rangers, they've lost 9 of the last 10. Sole possession of first place. Yeah, on July 24th, the record stood at 50-50. Fangraphs gave them an 11.6 chance to make the playoffs, including 3.6 to win the division. Today, playoffs 85.3%, division 41%. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. They sent Paul Sewell to the Diamondbacks for infielder Josh Rojas and outfielder Dominic Canzone and infield prospect Ryan Bliss. Rojas hit well, 122 OPS plus in 18 games. He's been a massive offensive upgrade at second over Colton Wong, who was released. Well, that says something. Munoz taken over as the closer and has converted 8 of his 10 save opportunities since the trade. Yeah, wow. During the month of August, they have the best team OPS of any club in the AL at 875. Milwaukee beat San Diego 8 straight. God, do they suck. Milwaukee 73-57. NL Central 4 games up on the Cubs. They play at Wrigley beginning today. And Dodgers beat the Red Sox, and Mookie hit one over the Monster, so they took the rubber game over them. Crazy, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. I didn't know I was that. Oh, wow. I thought the thing was fully charged, but I was wrong. Oh, wait, I didn't charge it. Justin Verlander became the first pitcher to win 100 games at Comerica Park with the Astros 17-4 over the Tigers. How about this? Well, Sarah Langs had the most 95-plus assists as infielder, single season on StatCast. This year, Ellie De La Cruz has 8. Last year, O'Neill Cruz had 3. He threw one yesterday. I mean, he didn't have a good series against the Diamondbacks, but he zipped one in. And Jack Flaherty, they traded for him for the Orioles. They lost yesterday. They're 81-49. Rockies are 49-81. Just flipped around. Hunter Goodman won his major league debut. Colorado snapped a 6-game skid, so they won 2 or 3, the Orioles. And he had friends and family at the game at Camden Yards. So Corbin Carroll versus Ellie De La Cruz. Corbin Carroll went 6 for 11 with a home run, 2 RBIs. Ellie De La Cruz 1 for 16, 3 runs scored, 2 base on balls, 7 strikeouts. D-backs took 2 or 3. They're 69-62. Cincy fell to 68-64. And yesterday in the Braves-Giants game, first double play in expansion era since 61 that went 3-1-4-2. For those keeping score at home, first base, to second base. First base, he caught it, flipped it to the pitcher, who flipped it to the second base. Yeah, I forget what happened. First base caught it, flipped it to the pitcher, who flipped it to the second baseman, and then he threw home and the catcher got the double play. There was a flip in that period, but a 3-1-4-2 double play hadn't happened since 61. Yeah, and I talked about Syndergaard is done. 3 home runs, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, done. 5.40 ERA, 6 games with the Guardians. He just hasn't been the same pitcher in a long, long, long time. And then Saturday night we were watching boxing. So Jared Anderson was interviewed while he was going to walk into the ring. And Jake Donovan put, not exactly sure what ESPN was trying to, with that booth to locker room interview with Jared Anderson as he prepared for his ring walk, but hopefully they never do it again. And he was wearing a Batman hat. He fought a guy, Rudenko, who had never been knocked down, who really just stood in front of him. And I watched Anderson fight a guy his last fight. Now, he fought basically like 6 weeks ago. So he's had 15 fights in 3 years and 10 months. Tyson had 15 fights in a calendar year. Riddick Bowe had 14. He said he wants to fight again in a couple months. He's got to eat, got to pay some bills. But And he walked out as old school Batman. But I thought them talking to him as he was walking out the ring was one of the dumbest things I ever saw in my life. I'm like, dude, like I hate when they talk to the players, baseball players in the field. Would they do that to the quarterback when he's about to walk up to the line? No. It's just dumb. They're trying to create more interest in the sport. If anything, I'm just like, I'm trying to prepare for my fight. I have to get into my, get in the right state of mind. No, bullshit. Yeah. And then there was a fight before, Zan Kasabutsky. You watched it. He thought he was blocking the ref, Chris Flores. He was fighting this guy, Zan, and he punched him deliberately in the nuts, and then was like he didn't like how the fight was going, so he punched him in the nuts, and that was the end of that. And now Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin have been ordered by the WBC to fight for the lightweight title. Okay, so Stevenson's 20-0 with 10 KOs. He's the 2016 Olympic silver medalist, and he wants to fight Devin Haney. That's not going to happen. So he's going to fight Martin. Okay. I wish him luck then. He moved up to lightweight early this year. So that's one fight. He went to fight Haney May 20th. Hey, Omar's joined. What's up, Omar? So we'll see what happens. So Haney's going to fight Regis Prograis later this year. Lomachenko is still ranked number 1 in the WBC lightweight rankings, but is opted to sit out the rest of the year. Number 3 is Mexico City's Isaac Cruz. Twice passed opportunity to face Stevenson. Twice passed. So Martin's 18-0, 12 KOs, 28-year-old out of Detroit. Trains with Errol Spence in Dallas. He beat Artem Harat Union in July 15th in Vegas. All right. Okay, so that's that can happen. Nassim Hamad's son Adam fought in the undercard of the Usyk Dubois, and he won on a first-round stoppage. Nassim was an awesome former featherweight world champion. They said he's a future star. We'll see if that happens. PJ Washington agreed to a new 3-year, $48 million contract with the Hornets. He is the final unsigned restricted free agent this summer. Last year, career high 16 points, made 2 3-pointers a game. Good for him. He's a 2019 12th pick out of Kentucky. Started 73 games last season for the Hornets. He had 43 against Oklahoma City in March. And MJ wanted nothing to do with LeBron. This is uncovering the truth. I don't know if this is 100% true, but I saw this as kind of interesting. And they said they never played on the same team in the scrimmage. He wasn't going to let a high school kid bust his ass. I don't know. I mean, at that point, he wasn't the player. I mean, he probably had that big an ego, but I don't know about that. France went out 2 games. They lost by 2 points to Latvia. And Fournier had 27, but Rudy Gobert, 9.7 rebounds, 1 field goal attempt, 7 of his points from the foul line. Brandon Ingram is signing with Jordan Brand. Good for him. Yeah, crazy. And this is for Big S. So David Blatt, the former head coach of the the Cavs, is going to be a consultant for the University of Arizona men's basketball team. He's on the managing committee for Israeli pro team Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's battling multiple sclerosis, decided to step down from that position due to difficulties with the frequent air travel. 64 years old. He won 5 Israeli Super League championships, 6 Israeli Cup titles as head coach. He was with the Cavs for 1.5 seasons before being fired. He's been with Maccabi since 2022. Arizona upset first round last year, but they're 61-1 under head coach Tommy Lloyd. But they, as Big S says, and happy birthday, Big S. Happy birthday. We'll see how that goes. Victor Hovland won the tournament championship. He got $18 goddamn million over Xander Schauffele. That's a lot of shekels, man. 18 million. Won back-to-back tournaments. Congrats to him. Good luck. And Aaron Matson won her first game 3-2 over Michigan, but they lost yesterday to Iowa 3-2. But hey, 1-1. Congrats in the all ACC in the ACC Ivy. Oh, they're going to play this weekend. They play at Penn on Friday in the ACC Ivy Conference crossover. This was the ACC Big Ten crossover. Good for them. All right. And you got a new head coach, the former star player who just retired who just finished her eligibility. Now she is the head coach. Erin Matson, never been prouder. Our heels showed up. And man, it's a privilege to be their coach. Unselfish, fire skill, relentlessness, bravery. Together we win. All right. Wishing you best of luck the rest of the season. Yeah, Undisputed is back today with Skip Bayless, Michael Irvin, Keyshawn, and Richard Sherman. Craig Carden's going to get David Jacoby, who used to be on with Jalen and Jacoby. Yeah, good for him. Yeah, I don't really. Mike Trout and Tiger Woods have finalized course routing on their New Jersey Golf Club Trout National 18-hole golf course by TGR Design. Expansive putting course, state-of-the-art clubhouse, lodging. It's set to debut in 2025. Simone Biles' 8th national all-around title. First U.S. gymnast to do that. And they had 11,992 at San Jose Sharks Arena. A sellout for gymnastics. And Chris Buechler won the NASCAR Cup Series regular season finale. I saw there was a guy who flipped over like 12 times and was okay. Max Verstappen, 9th straight F1 victory. Matches Sebastian Vettel in 2013. 138-point lead in the standings. Can wrap up the title at Qatar Grand Prix in early October. The Premier Lacrosse League and Boardroom has launched Street Lacrosse, a new, more accessible version of the sport, with an open run event on September 8th in New York City at Kevin Durant's Build It and They Will Ball Court at East Side Community School on East 12th Street. So played with only any 2 goals or targets of your choice. Use any quarter space that works for your group. A tennis ball works well, but the best ball is one that you already have. So basically you can play whatever you do there. Okay. God. Yeah. Oh, Josh sent me something. Oh, it said Showtime. Did I get anything else from anybody? No, let me see. My brother, if you can get me the numbers. Get me the numbers. I'd love to have him on. Fireman Ed? Yeah, sure, what the hell? Get the numbers. Yeah, hell yeah. Get those numbers for me, man. All right. Henry Foster is ready to go. Matt Chapman is going on the 10-day IL with a finger sprain. Colts cut former first-round wide receiver. I love seeing this. Who is this? Rashad Perriman. Yeah, he's been shit. Yeah. He goes team to team, and he sucks in every team he goes to. He's not good. Not good at all. So wait, Josh Dobbs is no stranger to starting on short notice with a new team. Last year, he started 8 days after the Titans signed him late in the season. Could be the week 1 starter in Arizona, a mere 2 weeks after being dealt there. Wow. Whew. That's kind of crazy. Did I miss anything else? Oh, yeah, Tulane's doing upgrades to their facility. I saw that. Yeah, Messi can miss at least 3 games with Inter Miami while playing for Argentina's national team. He actually only played the last 29 minutes, last 30 minutes of the game at the Red Bulls, which people paid a fortune for, and had a nice pass, assist, turned into a goal for him, a nice play against the Red Bulls. They won 2-0. But, it's got to piss off people paying all this money for games, and he's not going to be there. That's all I have to say. Yeah, Yankees aren't even in the postseason standings right now. The Mets are 9 games out for the wild card. Yeah, they suck. And Paul Skeens got roughed up in his first AA debut for the Altoona Curve against the Akron Rubber Ducks. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 2 base on balls, 2 strikeouts, number 1 pick at LSU. It happens, dude. We all come in, we all try our best, and then poof, it's all over. We wish for the best, we wish. Yeah, did I miss anything else? I did, yeah. Someone said I missed the days when playing in a bowl game meant wearing gigantic patches on each shoulder. And this was when I was in California. I didn't go to that game, but Illinois versus UCLA. Remember the patches on the jerseys back then? Those are the good old days, man. And that was Jared Anderson with his Batman. That's some Batman stuff, yeah. So did I miss anything else? That's Jack Trudeau in that picture, yeah. How about this? Look at this. Jesse Jefferson, look at that. With Joyner and with Kellen Winslow. Too bad his son's so fucked up, huh? He's in jail. Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah. And, they said, is this Spencer Dinwiddie? Yeah, Kyrie Irving with the goatee. Not a good look, dude. Not a good look. We went to a pool yesterday in Floral Park, Long Island. They had a slide and everything. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, it was great. Loved it. And the ponchos, New Mexico State. Those are some awesome ponchos, dude. Did I miss anything else? No, I did not. Thought I missed something else. Yeah, Messi, most 11 goals for Inter Miami, most on team, played 9 games. That's crazy. All right, let me get to some trivia questions. Trivia questions from last show was, did I have on Gobbo Chef? No, I did not have on Gobbo Chef. Yankees have lost 9 games in a season. The last team to do that was 1982. What was the last Yankee team to lose 10 in a row? 1913. Today's trivia question. Who was the last wide receiver drafted in the top 2 spots in the NFL draft? Which NFL wide receiver was drafted in the top 2 spots in the NFL draft? Because they're saying Marvin Harrison could be a top 2 pick. Who was the last wide receiver drafted in the top 2 picks? What year and what player was drafted in the top 2 picks in the NFL draft? It's been a while, folks. It's been a while. So, Andrea, thank you. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Bumbles. Get me Beningo. Get me Fireman Ed's numbers. Have them on a show. Tomorrow, very excited to have on the captain of the UNC ice hockey team, Henry Foster. Everybody have a great day. Peace out. So, my love to Michigan and Michigan. My parents, Carol and Carol. Mrs. S. Everybody have a great day. Peace out. I'll talk to you soon. Adios. Happy birthday, Big S. Sorry I missed it. I forgot to call you. Oh, got to make a phone call. Oh, and it's Dr. J's birthday today. Adios. 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 Adios.